Welcome back to another episode of MZ Talks Boxing. I'm your host, MZ. Let's talk about it. Saturday night, Mark Masayo upset Gary Russell Jr. by a majority decision 114, 114, 115, 113, and 115, 113 to claim the WBC featherweight title. With that being said, there is a lot of conversation going on right now, some good, some bad, about the fight. I, for one, take my hat off to Gary Russell in 100% respect. This man got in the ring with an injury that he refused to tell everyone about. He did let us know he was injured, but he didn't tell us what the injury was. I commend that. He went in, he fought a fight. I think it was the fourth round where the injury really showed itself. And from that point, Gary Russell was not using the right hand. But his footwork was impeccable. His defense was on point. The way he pivoted and turned Magsayo when Magsayo was on the attack, I felt was awesome. That was some fantastic work by a one-armed boxer. He landed the left hand plenty of times to the body, to the face. He did as well as he could with one hand. Now, the thing with that is, I'm looking at Magsayo, and he just didn't have the answers that you would think one would have against, one, a man that's smaller than he, and two, a man that was injured. Now, the announcers are saying that Magsayo had bagged off of his aggressiveness, which I feel like is a flaw, because in championship fighting, why would you bag off of any fighter, be he hurt or not? Gary Russell sustained himself in that fight and made a great showing from round 1 to round 12. He wasn't buzzed. He wasn't hurt. Not by Magsayo. Let's get that right. The injury was an injury that happened in training camp, which Gary let us know it was an old injury that happened before his Olympics. With that being said, people are saying that Gary Russell did all this talking and he didn't do what he was supposed to do. But what about the people that were saying that Gary Russell was going to get knocked out, he was going to get drove through, all these different things? Yes, he only fought once a year, and this was the first time we saw him in 2 years. A man with one hand fought to a majority decision where one judge actually had it a draw. The 115, 113, 115, 13, that could have easily been in another direction. Now, I'm going to say something that a lot of people are not going to like, and that is, I believe if Gary Russell was not injured, that fight would have been totally different. For it to be as close as it was, with Gary Russell just using one hand, to me, because the fight happened and we saw it, I'm not taking anything away from Mark, but on the same point, I'm not going to give him anything either. I felt like with Gary being hurt, Magsayo should have jumped all over him and overwhelmed him and made this decision with no question. But that didn't happen because Gary Russell, as I had said, was he used his ring generalship perfectly. I don't know how many of you could enter into a fight injured like that and come out shining. But that's a question that you have to ask yourself. But ask yourself this: how many professional fighters do you know that would have been able to do the same thing? Yes, we saw Tank finish a fight with a broken hand. We saw one of the Charlo twins finish the fight with an injured hand. Now we've seen Gary Russell finish a fight with an injured shoulder. Muhammad Ali even finished the fight with a broken jaw. So I'm going to say this. It is my opinion that if Magsayo and his team gives Gary Russell another bite at the apple and he's had that shoulder taken care of, I don't believe that Magsayo will be holding that title much longer than that. But we'll have to see what the business of boxing says. Will they give Gary Russell another chance or not? Some people are saying that Al Heyman and PBC is their fault. They're blaming the promotional companies and the promoters and everything like that. I don't know who to blame. I'm not going to blame anyone. All I can say is congratulations to Magsayo. But once again, Gary Russell has, to me, has earned a hell of a lot more respect. I don't care about all the noise that he talked to Terrence Crawford, about him saying that Floyd was hiding Tank from him, or any of these things. I do not care, and you should not either. What you should be caring about and saying is, hey, this man injured refused, one, to postpone the fight. He went on with the fight. How many other fighters do you know would do that? Now that we know that Gary's been injured, a lot of people are saying, oh, he should have got it fixed. He should have did this. He should have did that. Lomachenko came out and said he was hurt against Teofimo Lopez, and the reactions was different. Oh, Loma deserves another chance. He deserves another chance because he was hurt. But you didn't see him looking hurt in his fight. Manny Pacquiao said he had a hurt shoulder against Floyd Mayweather. But we didn't see that injury. We did not see him grimace or anything like that, he or Lomachenko, in their fights. We saw Gary Russell visibly in agony when he landed that punch on Magsayo, when the world became aware that he was hurt. So with that being said, no, I will not dump on Gary Russell in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I will say that man proved that he is a true warrior, no matter how you look at it or how you break it down. So I'm going to say, if Magsayo does not step his game up a lot more than what he's done, I don't think he'll be holding that belt that long. If that's my opinion, I'm going to ask you yours. Leave it in the comment. I appreciate everyone that stopped by. Hit that thumbs up or the thumbs down. Hit the bell icon if you haven't already, so you can be notified whenever we drop content. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe so we can kick it like we do. And I would also like to say at the end of this, congratulations to Warzone for making 1,000 subscribers and counting. We will celebrate Warzone's accomplishments coming up Tuesday night on MZ Talks Boxing. My co-host, Master Rod. And with that,